Hi everybody, Paul back here. Hope everybody is good and well, and bringing you some 80s bone-chilling terror, thanks to the good folk at Vinegar Syndrome, giving us the Mexican horror from 1985, Cemetery of Terror, or Cementerio del Terror. Absolutely brilliant. This is a film that I saw many moons ago on a pretty good print, but VHS quality, of Cemetery of Terror. I think it was a dubbed one from memory, but this is released in its original Mexican Spanish-speaking language, as I say, thanks to the great folk at Vinegar Syndrome. And this is a very nice slipcover edition. And the good thing about Vinegar Syndrome is that they do not skimp on their slipcovers. This is of a harder card and the artwork is just sublime. This is a newly commissioned artwork for the poster from the original, which we'll look at in a second. But it's just showing all of its wonderfulness all around, even there on the spine. That's the way that we like it. And this here is slightly embossed, slightly raised, just adds that extra bit of class and quality to it. And let's just linger a little bit longer on that cover art, because that really is all such goodness. There we go. I've got the old just wooden handcrafted cross in the cemetery. A ghoulish skeletal being resurrected from the crusty depths of below, from the earth, raising up like something out of a zombie nightmare. And this is all really rather good. Not so much of a nightmare, but just a real good old-fashioned scarefest with some nice effects, some pretty good gore, and just that little bit of old chunk blowing which we love. And it stars Hugo Stiglitz. But there we go, there's the slipcover. Let's just put that to one side for a moment and let's bring in the Blu-ray release itself. Now this is a limited edition release with the slipcover of just 3,000 releases. I'm not certain whether there will be a standalone Blu-ray release aside from this limited version, but of course, you know, if you can afford it, if you're able to get hold of it, the slipcover is definitely the one to try and get. It's not overly expensive. You've got to pay a little bit of import, of course, and postage and what have you, which has gone through the roof, particularly for importing from abroad, sadly. But overall, this I think came out about £35, and just every now and again you get a classic film that you grew up with or you love. You don't mind paying that little bit extra for, particularly as it is such a limited edition. You're not going to lose out if you ever have the need to get rid of, pass on, get some money back. You're going to make the minimum of what you paid for it, and likely a lot more. This, I'm sure, as do a lot of the Vinegar Syndrome movies, particularly these hard-to-come-by films, they do skyrocket. But anyway, this is a really good, fun film from the 80s, as I say, starring Hugo Stiglitz. Let's just have a look at the back, have a look around. Lots of nice extras with this as well. You'll pick up here, hopefully, in the camera. Just, you know, bonus material, interviews with the director, newly commissioned interviews, audio commentary by the director as well, and you get the film in its original 1:85:1 excuse me, widescreen ratio, and it is, yes indeed, it is all region. So it's a region free disc, which is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, you're importing these from abroad, that's exactly what you want. We've got some interior artwork here as well, and it's again nice, as I say, you've got the newly commissioned artwork there, and you've got the original Cementerio del Terror artwork, which was released with the film back in 1985, and then you've got the newly commissioned artwork here on the Blu-ray as well, and some nice interior artwork, which is of course the reversible sleeve artwork. This here we're looking at, won't remove the disc because it is the same artwork that we've got here, the newly commissioned artwork. So you've got the choice of both, which is just absolutely fantastic. I mean, really very cool indeed. Let's just look at them there together. So there we are, the new artwork with the old. But I can't say enough, again, getting these films that grew up with or experienced at a pretty young age, just really wanted. Back in those days, back in the 80s, you just thought, what if I could get to see this film in all its original glory, see it at the cinema, see it, released on a better format, and of course, not so long after that, Laserdisc came along, then DVD, but films like this just weren't coming out. So today, to get on Blu-ray, absolutely exceptional. It just really is so good. Those of you who aren't familiar with this film, I can recommend it, obviously. That's why I bought it. Should go without saying, surely. But it is a fun one. It's the storyline about it. It's a Halloween prank by a group of teens, nothing original there. Steal a body from the town morgue, but unknown to them, the body is that of a nasty serial killer, and not the type that gets up early in the morning and pours too much milk onto their cereal. This is a cold-blooded serial killer, and he is also a Satan worshipper who sold his soul to rise up once again after he died. And of course, sure he does revive in a local cemetery where the naughty teens dropped off his body at Halloween for their prank. But then the killer resurrects and proceeds to raise the dead from their graves, and you get zombie outbreak in Cementerio del Terror. And that's where all the goodness, gory goodness as well, the practical makeup effects are there to be seen and to be enjoyed. And all from Mexican director Ruben Galindo Jr. And this is his first full feature film, and what a darn good one it is as well. As earlier mentioned, stars fellow Mexican international film star Hugo Stiglitz, who most or a lot will remember from Umberto Lenzi's Chuck Blower infection zombie classic Nightmare City from 1980. Yes, he's the bearded Mexican good guy, and he's been in so many action, horror and crime dramas down the years, including actually appearing with Italian icon Maurizio Merli for the typically non-politically incorrect, should I say, Polizio actioner Vultures Over the City. Now that's a film I'd really like to get hold of. Another one just, so hard to come by. An Italian, Spanish, Mexican co-production back from 1981. But here, Cemetery of Terror, original widescreen 1:85:1 ratio with original language dialogue, but with newly commissioned English subtitles, so you're going to get a nice, clear, crisp way to experience the translation, so no problems at all there. With this one, amongst the bonus material, you also get a commentary track with director Ruben Galindo Jr., as well as a video interview, a fairly newly shot video interview with Galindo. And pleased to say that both Galindo and also Hugo Stiglitz, both alive and well, still involved in making movies, which is really good to know. Good people. But as I say, this one is also an all region-free disc. Fantastic stuff. DTS HD mono sound, so original soundtrack, but nicely cleaned up. So good stuff. Let me know if you've seen this film, if you've heard about this release, if you're going to be able to get it, pick it up yourself. Let me know, share your thoughts on this one. I think it's just one of those good old fun mid-80s horror films, but the Mexicans, they just added that extra fun. You know, their sort of wrestling movie horror film crossovers, they're fantastic stuff as well, if you can get your hands on some of those. But if you're still wishing to, or you're not yet dipped your toe into Mexican horror, I'll tell you what, this is a very good one to do so. But being as it's horror, and they do like their gore, albeit over the top more than most, you dip your toe here, you lose it. But have fun if you've got this one. If you've not got it, look out for it and have yourself a blast with Ruben Galindo Jr. and Hugo Stiglitz in Cemetery of Terror. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. See you all soon. Bye for now.